What's going on, everybody? It's AG here. Let's talk coaching candidates. Buzz Williams, Texas A&M's head coach, is headed to Maryland to replace Kevin Willard, which went to Villanova. So let's talk coaching candidates. I've got about 12, 13 names here. We're going to break down some a little more realistic than others, but we're going to break this list down. I'll give you who I think they will hire and who I think they should hire. Let's go ahead and get started here. First off, these are in no particular order. At the top, Chris Beard at Ole Miss. He's been in the conference. The SEC had success at Ole Miss. He's also had success in the state at Texas. The dude's a top 5 coach in the country. You get all your money, you throw it at Chris Beard, make him say no. This will put Texas A&M as a premier job in the country, I think, if they hire Chris Beard. The dude's a proven winner. He's won at Ole Miss. He's won at Texas. He's won everywhere he's been. I know he has the baggage that comes along with it, but those charges were dropped. He's clear now. You make this hire if you have the opportunity to. If not, if you can't get Chris Beard, you go after this guy. You throw the bag at him. Grant McCasland at Texas Tech, up-and-comer, just made the Elite Eight at Tech. And if you can't get Chris Beard, this is the guy I'm going after. In the state, he would probably be willing to jump from the Big 12 to the SEC. Now, would he do that to Tech? I don't know. But you got to make him say no. You got to try one of these two dudes at the top. If you can get one of those hires, this is a slam dunk hire either way, no matter which one of these guys you hire. Next up on the list, Chris Jans at Mississippi State. This hire, I think, makes the most sense. A&M sounds like a better job than Mississippi State. He's going to make more money, going to get more NIL money probably. The dude has had success in the conference at Mississippi State, made the conference this year. Has coaching ties to the Texas area for when he was in the JUCO ranks. So it kind of makes sense too. Would be a good hire. The dude makes, like I said, the tournament quite often. Fred Hoiberg at Nebraska. This is a name I've seen thrown around a little bit, which is kind of questionable. Hasn't had the most success at Nebraska, kind of free fall at the end of this season to drop out of the tournament. But you backtrack to what he did at Iowa State not too long ago before he went to the NBA. Did a really good job there. So he can definitely coach, but again, in Nebraska, it hasn't quite worked. Alan Huss, High Point. Do they want to go to the mid-major ranks? We'll see. He's won a lot at High Point. Is this too big of a jump, to jump from High Point all the way to the SEC and A&M? Possibly. But eventually he's probably going to make the jump anyway. So do you reach that far? TJ Otzelberger, Iowa State. He has won a ton of ball games at Iowa State, has them like a top 4 seed continuously in the tournament. I was personally hoping Texas would go after him, but you can definitely do worse than TJ Otzelberger. Heck of a defensive coach, really consistent, wins a lot in the Big 12, and like I said, makes the tournament consistently and has a good seed in the process. Does he want to leave Iowa State? I don't think so, but I think A&M also can offer a lot more money than a lot of these programs, maybe even every program listed on here. Brad Underwood, Illinois. His name gets thrown around a lot. Has ties to the Texas area, previously coached at SFA before he went to Oklahoma State and then ultimately to Illinois. Has he reached his max potential at Illinois? Possibly. He is a little older, but he wins no matter what. So do you make that call to Brad Underwood? Next up, Shaka Smart at Marquette. This one might be so out of left field that it actually works. Shaka has done so-so at Marquette. It didn't work at Texas, but he was really good at VCU, which everybody is. But he's done pretty good at Marquette. But again, they haven't quite gotten over the hump. Shaka is not the best offensive mind, in my opinion. But this could be kind of a mutual thing here. It seems like Marquette is kind of on the outs on Shaka, not necessarily pushing him out, but at the same time kind of being like, we wouldn't mind if you left. With the coaching cycle not winding down, because this started probably a domino effect here. But with, some of the best candidates being off the board, the hot names, if you will, does Shaka make sense? Is this a realistic guy you could get? A&M is going to throw around a lot of money. They've shown in other sports that they can go get whoever they want, whether it be Jimbo Fisher, no matter who, they can go get them. They can go pay that guy. So could they go get Shaka? I think so. Bryce Drew, Grand Canyon, come back to Texas, joins his brother, which is at Baylor in Texas. Bryce Drew has won a lot at Grand Canyon. I don't know if they reach there because Bryce Drew's been in the SEC before and didn't really work. So I don't know if they make that hire. How about another one? Penny Hardaway at Memphis. Hasn't had success in the tournament, but has had success at Memphis. I don't see the marriage here. I don't see it working, but Penny Hardaway does win ball games consistently. Doesn't quite have the most success in the tournament, but he does win ball games. Steve Lutz at Oklahoma State, 1 year at Oklahoma State, but he has ties to Texas as well, coaching at A&M Corpus Christi, making the tournament multiple times. Steve Lutz could make sense. That's a name I'm seeing thrown around a lot. Andy Kennedy at UAB has had a lot of success at UAB. His a UAB alma mater. So would he want to leave if he's an alumni there? I doubt it, but maybe. But I think A&M could do a little better than that. All right, so let's go ahead and cross off the names here. First off, Alan Huss at High Point. I like Alan Huss, but again, I think this might be a little too soon for him. Too big of a jump, in my opinion. Next thing we're going to cross off, Penny Hardaway. I like the thought of that hire, but I don't know. I think they'll go a different direction. Penny Hardaway has had so success in the tournament. You know, a lot of people can win at Memphis, so do they want to go that route? I don't think so. Next thing we're going to mark off Bryce Drew at Grand Canyon. Again, he's been in the SEC and didn't have that much success, so I don't think they go that route. Let's see here. TJ Otzelberger at Iowa State. I think you could try, but I don't think he's leaving. Otherwise, I think he would have taken a different job by now. I think his wife is an alumni at Iowa State, so I don't think they're leaving. Next one, Brad Underwood at Illinois. I don't think he leaves. His name is thrown around a lot in these job searches, though, so it's possible. But I don't think he leaves. He's close to the end, closer to retirement than he is leaving, I think. So I don't think he leaves. Shaka Smart at Marquette would be an interesting hire. I'm not saying it would work, but it would be interesting, but I don't think they'll go that route. So these 6 names right here are the names I'm seeing the most consistently in the job boards I've seen and as far as intel I've seen. So Steve Lutz at Oklahoma State, Andy Kennedy at UAB. I'm marking off one of these guys next, probably Andy Kennedy. I don't know, since he's from UAB, since he's been in the SEC ranks, before, I don't think he leaves. So these 4 names right here, I think Fred Hoiberg, even though I'm hearing that a lot, again, he hasn't won at Nebraska. He won a lot at Iowa State before he made the jump to the NBA, but as of late, that hasn't happened. That would kind of feel like the Sean Miller hire to me, except not near as good. Sean Miller actually made the tournament at Xavier these past couple of seasons, but it would be similar to that, like Fred Hoiberg at Iowa State, Sean Miller at Arizona. So I don't think A&M goes that route. It wouldn't be the sexiest hire. Steve Lutz is a name I've actually seen thrown around a lot that might be their guy. I think they could pull a bigger name. So it depends on if they want to bring in a guy that can be their dude, their guy, or just bring in a guy that wins. Personally, from what I think they're going to do, I think they hire one of Chris Jans or Steve Lutz. And it'll probably be Chris Jans because, again, he's had success in the SEC. So I don't think Steve Lutz is an option. But A&M, I think, is hiring one of those guys in Chris Jans or Steve Lutz. As far as who I'm hiring, Chris Jans is a good coach, but I think they can reach for the stars here. They've got enough money to throw around. I think they can get a bigger fish. So if I'm them, I'm hiring Chris Beard or Grant McCasland. I'm probably leaning Chris Beard because the dude's a top 5 coach in the country. Has had a ton of success, made the national championship before at Texas Tech. If I'm the A&M AD, I'm hiring Chris Beard or Grant McCasland. I've got them on the phone. I've got them on planes already, offering them the bag, telling them how much NIL I can get them, telling them whatever you need, go ahead and take it. Take us to the promised land. I'm hiring one of those guys. I think they're going to hire Chris Jans or Steve Lutz, but we'll see. If I was the AD, I would hire Chris Beard or Grant McCasland. But who would you hire? Who do you think they hire? Let me know. Comment down below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe.